what a fun film, but at the same time filled with so many different stories that could come out of one neighborhood. I want to start with Leslie, your character. You got a lot of pressure being the quote unquote first one out, and then having culture shock on the West Coast when you don't really feel connected to anyone. What can that do to a person in your mind?
Oh man, it can make you feel like you're not worthy of your dream, or you're not prepared to achieve what it is that you set out to do. And that's what Nina feels when she's coming back home. She feels the guilt of, having to somehow break it to her dad and also her entire community who's been rooting her on her whole life, that hey, maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe it doesn't feel as good as I thought it would feel to go off to Stanford. Like maybe I just want to stay here where it's safe, right here on my block where I feel the most myself. And that's where I'm comfortable. But she finds that, through expressing her fear, um, and sharing it with the people that she loves, she only finds more support and is reminded of what her purpose is and why she needs to eventually go back for her reasons, not just for her community and for her dad, but because she's found ownership of her her path back to Stanford for herself. And
Yes.
she finds that through Sunny, but kind of went
Yeah.
all over the place there and spoiled a little bit, but
Not really. I think it was a great answer. Meanwhile, Melissa, your character Vanessa is trying to make it there and trying to do it on her own and trying to start her own business, but she runs into this wall that I feel like many young Hispanic and minorities run into when trying to start a business, where you need X, 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 and X. It's like, where do I get that from?
Yeah.
What can that do to a person?
It can be very traumatizing and disheartening, because a lot of people will be able to relate to being born with disadvantages. You're not born in a family that has the possibility to give you a great education. You gotta earn it. You gotta support yourself. You gotta start working when you're young to be able to, get the money to pursue your own dreams. And I feel like a lot of times people of color specifically run into walls when they're applying for jobs or when they're applying for an apartment, like Vanessa. And you're automatically judged and you're automatically put in like a certain box of, oh, this is what you are, and this is probably your experience. And she feels angry. She's angry because she doesn't have, like Nina, a father that can send her to school and support her. And that's what she wants. She would have loved to go to school for fashion, and she didn't have the possibilities. And I love the message of, despite all the obstacles, still fighting, still believing that you can make it. And I feel like that's very characteristic of our community, of the Latinx community, because we fight for everything. We're a fighting people.
Absolutely.
We fight for what we think we deserve. We fight for bettering ourselves, for having a better life for the future generations. And I love that you have all these different experiences within one community in this movie, and you understand that even people that grow up close to each other can have completely different life experiences and different frustrations and different obstacles in life, but if they come together and they allow the community to lift them up, they can find success and they can find happiness.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, Corey, the work ethic you show in the film, I find fabulous, because it really speaks to what our community is. Very, very hard workers, very proud of what they do. I think one of the moments is when you are on a date and you see that something needs to get done, and despite some of the things that are going on, you're going to be there. Can you talk a little bit about that work ethic and your character, Benny?
Yeah, Benny is he loves his community, man. And Nina is a part of that community. And I think in that moment that you're talking about, he has to make that sort of split second decision and sort of look at the bigger picture while he's on his date in the middle of this blackout. But again, his heart is always, I think, in the right place. And it does speak to the work ethic. People of color in general, we always sort of have to work a few times, you know, that much more harder than everyone else just to get what everyone else gets on a base level. And I just think that's in our blood, to push in that way. And I think that's in Benny's blood. Benny he's a fighter too. He loves, he not only loves Washington Heights, but he loves on Washington Heights. Like he that's his home, and he will lift it up and lift the people and the culture up as much as he can. He wants to learn the language. He wants to, you see them, and I think it might be in a deleted scene or something like that, where he's trying to like figure it out. He's on the call, but anyway, I think Benny is, he loves the heart of Washington Heights, and he is a bit of the heartbeat of Washington Heights. And his idea of home is right where he is, and knowing that that's okay. That is just as valid as going across the country to Stanford, and coming back with a beautiful degree. Like to be able to raise your community up and lift it, is just
Right where you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you all three for all the heart that you show in the film. I really appreciate it. In the Heights, fantastic, and you three are definitely a big part of that.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.